Introducing the Open Palm Podcast, hosted by Jerome Shaw. Available today on your favorite podcasting platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor.fm, and many more. The Open Palm Podcast, where the host engages his listeners with inspirational messages, motivating themes, and thought-provoking ideas. Topics include: make more mistakes, how much is your value, don't get right, get going, learning to let go, excellence is a habit, and more. Binge listen today. Subscribe today. It's getting excellent ratings. That's the Open Palm Podcast, hosted by Jerome Shaw. You can also find it on YouTube. Make sure you share it with your social networks and connect on Twitter and Instagram at Jerome Shaw. That's the Open Palm Podcast with Jerome Shaw. Available today on your favorite podcasting platforms. Go listen, download, and subscribe now.
How do you see yourself, my friend? When you look in the mirror, what do you see? Do you see a winner staring back at you? Or do you see someone else? Do you see someone who struggles to succeed? Or do you see someone striving for success? Or do you see someone who is always successful, no matter what? How do you define it? And how is your self-image of you? I just left a convenience store where I walked in and seen a girl at the cash register furiously scratching away at something behind the counter. And when I got my drink, I went to the counter and I noticed that as she was preoccupied scratching this thing furiously, I realized that this lady at the counter at the cash register, as a young girl, was scratching one of those lottery cards, a lottery ticket. And so she was so preoccupied that when I put in my card to buy the drink, she nonchalantly asked me if I wanted a receipt, as though she wouldn't have even walked over to the register if I said no. So just to see her come from behind the counter, I said, "Sure, I'll take a receipt." And she finally walked over to the register and I asked her, "You win any? You know, have you gotten any money?" And she smiled and giggled and said, "Yeah, I got $1." I said, "Okay." And I bought my drink and I left. My friend, she was furiously scratching behind the counter. The whole world passing her by, the knowledge and wisdom of the world available, and she's scratching for $1, scratching for pennies. Now I ask you, why was she scratching? Was she scratching for this money because she felt she needed it? Was she scratching for these dollars, because she felt as though this would get her out of her position, out of her job, or in a new state? Or is it the self-image that puts us in these positions? This mentality that we have of ourselves that makes us feel as though we aren't worthy of more. I have been in the position, my friend, where I have discounted myself. I've counted myself out. I've stayed in my comfort zone, my secure and cushy jobs, my comfortable cubicles. Every instance, every situation that I've stayed in where I didn't push myself to go above and beyond was because of what I thought of myself. Going through school, not being able to get A's straight A's like the other students that I saw in this light that I put them in, putting them up on this pedestal, this altar, saying, they are the ones that study. They are the ones that do well. They are the ones that always make good marks on their tests, but I am not. It was self-image that held me back. It wasn't just for lack of studying. It wasn't just for lack of this or that. It wasn't just because I didn't fit the mold. I didn't fit because of my self-image. I thought I was the type of person who didn't make good grades. And so my reality became my mentality. Self-image, my friend. As I noticed this girl behind the counter scratching furiously for dollars, just $1 at a time. Who knows how many lottery tickets she had to go through to get $1, right? Leaving your life up to chance and saying, this is all that I'm worth. Maybe even not saying it out loud, but subconsciously, that is what we're saying when we are leaving it up to chance, when we are leaving our life, our circumstances, the direction that we have to go in towards our destiny, when we're leaving it up to others, when we are not accepting any responsibility for our direction in life. This is how I used to feel. I used to feel such lack. I never saw abundance around me. I never noticed it. Not that it wasn't there, but my eyes didn't see it. I didn't see that there was more than enough. And if I stayed in this mentality, if I stayed in this mindset, if I stayed in this frame, I would have surely been just like that girl behind the counter, scratching lottery tickets for pennies, for dollars. I remember being on the internet looking for odd jobs here and there, going to different websites where they would have you watch advertisements and programs and take surveys for pennies, cents on the dollar. They're just consuming all of this programming, all of these messages, just so that you could make a buck, maybe at the end of the day, so you could scratch a few lottery tickets and get lucky, right? Taking surveys, doing things like secret shopping, going to places and making a little money here, a little money there to pretend to be a shopper at a store and take pictures. And this is nothing against those things. I mean, we are all in different situations when we all feel like we have to do what we have to do to make what we need to make. But when your self-image raises, everything raises. Life, the universe, it has to meet your self-image. It has to meet you where you are. But if your self-image of yourself is low, then once again, life meets you where you are and you perceive things to be around you as a reflection. Often, it is a cycle, a vicious cycle, how we see ourselves to be a certain way, so others treat us how we see ourselves, and then we see ourselves how others treat us. We continue and continue and continue until something breaks the pattern. Whether through inspiration or desperation, we remain in the cycle of blame, the cycle of hurt, the cycle of pain, the cycle of anguish, the cycle of suffering, the cycle of wanting more, of craving, of wishing, of hoping, of praying for more and not getting it because we don't realize that we already are more. Not getting enough because we don't realize we are enough already. Self-image, my friend. This book by Maxwell Maltz, Psycho-Cybernetics, I am loving this book. I feel like I could read it over and over and over again until it finally clicks, until I get it. And I understand that we will always stoop to the level of our self-image. And if it is a high level of self-image, if we regard ourselves highly, then we don't have far to stoop. But if we regard ourselves very low on the totem pole, we will always sink back down, no matter what falls into our lap, be it an opportunity, be it a lottery ticket win, be it money from out of nowhere, be it circumstances that are to our benefit. We will always self-sabotage if our self-image is not in place for our benefit. If you don't think of yourself in a positive manner, more money won't help. This is what I had to discover for myself. That all these jobs I was taking, all these opportunities I was getting, none of it mattered if I didn't raise my standards, if I didn't raise my perception, if I did not raise my self-image. Nothing would matter in the end. It would all go back to the way things were. I pray that you don't fall into the same cycle that held me down for so long. The cycle of self-image, my friend. Raise your self-image. Know that you are not just important, you are immaculate. You are perfect in all of your imperfections. You are awesome. You are praiseworthy. You are wonderful. You are amazing. You are astounding. You are outstanding. You are a terrific human being. You are tremendous, my friend. I pray that you know that before it's too late. Thank you for listening, my friend. This has been Jerome Shaw on TOP. That is the Open Palm Podcast here in San Antonio, Texas. The Open Palm means harmony with the world, understanding our place in the world, using our skills accordingly, greeting the world with an open palm instead of a closed fist. Share this message with a like-minded individual who, like you, is raising their self-image, learning and growing and becoming their greatest version, realizing that they are already great. Many have asked how they can support the podcast. Well, my friend, if you resonated and gained value with this, I invite you to become a supporter by opening your browser to anchor.fm/jshaw and clicking that little support button there is much appreciated, or even $1 goes a long way to making a difference, my friend. And I just ask that of you, just out of the kindness, if you gain value from this. I don't require anything. But I know that if this message reaches more people, that the world will be better for it. Because that is my mission. That is my mission in life. My purpose is to create more impact, not only on this generation, but to ripple out towards the next, so that people can understand that they are already great and learn how to harness that greatness, to project that positive energy into the world. Thank you for listening, my friend. As always, have a blessed day or night wherever you are, and take care.
Hey there, my friend. So you've heard about Anchor, but do you know why it's the easiest way to make a podcast? Well, first off, it's free. It allows you to use creation tools that let you record your podcast right from your phone or computer. It also distributes your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more platforms. You can even make money from your podcast with minimum listenership. It's everything you need in one place. Download the free Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started. Can't wait to hear yours. Let's see what you have to offer the world.